He's permitted to marry an almana, and then he was appointed nisman lios kohen gadol yichnos. He's permitted to marry her because he already was married to her as a kohen hedjit. Umasib Yeshua ben Gamlo. There was an incident with Yeshua ben Gamlo shekidesh es marsa bas baitus. Okay, he married Marsa bar baitus umineu hamelech lios kohen gadol, and he was appointed by the king. We'll see. The Gemara makes a point to this. It doesn't say he was appointed. Mineo nismana means he was the object of the appointment. Mineo means because there was something which caused him to be appointed, which was negative. We'll see. So it wasn't a problem. Second. Shemeres Yov Mishanof Lefnei Kohen Hedjit. So what? She's a widow, right? V'nismana Kohen Gadol Api Shosad B'Maimer Hareza Lo Yichnos. Let's see, if he did Yibum, said that she's his wife. But if he didn't do, he just did Maimer. Maimer is only Kedushin Drabonon. Right. So what is she? She's a widow. So if he does Yibum now, he's not permitted to do Yibum because he's marrying an almana. Okay. How do we know that if initially he married the almana as a kohen hedjit, then subsequently he was appointed to be kohen gadol, that he could actually, no, he could consummate the marriage. He's married to her already, right? But only kedushin. Talmud lomar yikach isha, right? Yikach isha. What does it mean? Yikach isha. The pasuk. Yikach isha zayin. No. Almana grusha chalolo lo yikach ki'im b'sula me'am v'yikach isha. Yikach means kedushin. But let's say he's already married to her. It's not a problem. Ihochi shemeres yavam nami isha lo v'lo yivom. It says yikach isha. Right? She's not his wife. She's only his zika. Masu Yeshua ben Gamla mineu. It says mineu ein nismana lo. Right? It says he was appointed, but he wasn't the object of the appointment. Omer Rav Yosef kota chazina hocha. So he says, I see something over here like some hanky panky. Right? The Omer Ravasi takrav tarkavo the dinri aidla marsa barbaitus lianaim malko. That he had a very wealthy wife, and she gave him a pail of gold coins. So she bought the position. Bekani Ravi, exact. That's what it says. Ismane. He wasn't appointed because they appreciated his value, because it was a payoff. Therefore, it says Nismana. Over there, does it say regarding Yeshua, this Marsa Babaita, she was a widow? Was she a widow originally? No, because then it has no relevance to the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that if a man marries a woman as a what? As a widow, even though subsequently becomes Kohen Gadol, he could retain her. Then it tells over the story with Yeshua ben Gamla. Otherwise, it has no relevance to the Mishnah, right? So seemingly, she must have been an almana. She must have been a widow. No, not a Yevama. No, you're not reading the right thing. About Yeshua ben Gamla. Told me Yeshua ben Gamla. What does it say? Read the words. No, let me see it. It's nothing. Doesn't say anything on it. Nothing. Okay, further. We're holding the Mishnah on Samach Aleph, 61a. Kohen Gadol shemes ochiv choletz lo miyabim. Kohen Gadol dies. So his brother does chalitza. Kohen Gadol shemes ochiv, that his brother dies. Choletz lo miyabim. Of course, why? She's a widow. So there is a zikah, but he's not permitted to what? To do yibum, because somewhere says pasuk v'tani. Seemingly the Mishnah says lo shno min eris and lo shmin nesuin. Seems there's no difference whether she's an almana min eris and when a nesuin. Bishlam in Nesuin, we understand why if she's widowed from the Nesuin, why can't he marry? Why can't he perform Yibum Aseh v'lo sasahu? Right? Firstly, she's not a virgin, and also there's a lo saseh. So ein asedoch lo seve'eseh, ein asedoch lo seve'eseh, elam in Erisin. But if she's widowed only from Erisin, so there's only a lav Yovo asay v'yitchelos asay. One would say asay dochelos asay. The positive mitzvah of yibum should supersede the negative commandment of marrying a widow. On that verse, be rishona to be a shniya. It's because if we allow him to have the first relationship, it may lead to the second, and there's no mitzvah asay. Kohen hedjit lo yisa aylinis. An ordinary Kohen should not marry a woman who's barren. It means she can't have children. Aylinis is more than a barren woman. It's a woman where she never developed as a woman. Okay, like the curvature of that area. She doesn't have breasts. There's some kind of hormonal problem. She never developed. Elam ken yesh lo ishu banu, unless he has another wife with children, so because he has to fulfill the mitzvah puriva, puravu. So if he marries this woman, he'll never fulfill this mitzvah. So if he has another wife, or he had a wife and he had children already, then he's permitted, because he already fulfilled the mitzvah of procreation, puravu. Rabbi Yehuda says no, even if he has a wife and he has children already, lo yisa ayinlis. Why? She's zona. Because what is it? She's like, you're taking her like a prostitute. She has no relevance to bearing children. Right? Amur b'Torah chamomrim ain't zona elogzeres elo gioris. What's a zona? Zona doesn't mean a woman can't have children. A gioris for a Kohen is a zona. She was a maidservant, a slave, and she was emancipated. Or a woman had an illicit relationship, meaning like she had relations with a relation with a goy. So she was defiled. She's defiled. That's a zona. But a woman who's a regular kosher Jewish woman, just because she's an idleness, there's no reason to class her as zona. What's the reason why we say that a Kohen is not permitted to marry an idleness? Should not. Mishum pir v'ribio. So if that's the case, apir kohanim hu demifkedi, apir ribio, kohanim hu demifkedi, yisrael do mifkedi. So what does the Mishnah say? A Kohen hedged, if he has no children, should not marry an idleness. And what about an ordinary Jew? If the reason is procreation, so even an ordinary Jew shouldn't marry, because he's not going to fulfill the mitzvah of having children, right? So why does the Mishnah pick on specifically a Kohen hedged? You're right. In terms of the ratio, we don't differentiate. A Yisrael Kohen should not marry a woman as idleness unless he had children previously or another wife. So why does he pick on Kohen? Because of the conclusion of the Mishnah. What about if he has children? Rabbi Yehuda says he's still not permitted. Why? Because she's like a zona. The provision of zona only has room to Kohen, right? The provision of zona, a woman, right? A woman was defiled and a Yisrael wants to marry. He's permitted to marry her. But her classification is zona. That classification is only a problem for a Kohen. But for an ordinary Yisrael, it's not a problem. So because the conclusion of the Mishnah speaks about the provision of zona, even if you had children, therefore we start speaking about a Kohen. But you're right, the first beginning of Mishnah, there's no difference whether it's a Kohen Yisrael, he should not marry her. Excuse me. Even though he has a wife and children, lo yisa ayinlis, she's zona, hamura b'Torah. The zona karamu de mifkedi. Who's not permitted to marry a zona? That's only the Kohen. Yisrael do mifkedi. Right? They're not commanded. There's no provision for an ordinary Jew to marry a zona. The Mishnah starts off. It says, a Kohen should not marry an idleness. But if he has children, he's permitted. So the question is, why should he marry the idleness? Because he won't be able to fulfill his mitzvah through revu. So if that's the case, so it should be, Yisrael's the same issue. So he says, you're right. In regard to that particular case, there's no difference. But the Mishnah continues. Rabbi Yehuda says, but if he has children, the Tanna Kama says, it's not a problem. Rabbi Yehuda says, I disagree. Even if he has children, he's still not permitted to marry the idleness. Because she's a zona. That statement, is that limited to the Kohen or to every Jew? That's the Kohen. Because the provision of zona is only to a Kohen. So that's the reason why we began speaking about a Kohen. But really, the first statement is not specific to the Kohen. It has even relevance to every Jew. No, ordinary Kohen. Any Kohen. Any Kohen's not permitted to marry zona. If a woman had relations with a goy, Kohen's not permitted to marry her. Is a Jew permitted to marry her? A regular Jew can marry her. 100%? No. If a Kohen marries the child, it's a cholo. But if an ordinary Jew marries her, he has a daughter, that daughter can marry a Kohen Gadol. It's not a problem. Okay? Amar Afuna, my time Rabbi Yehuda. Why does Rabbi Yehuda say that if she can't bear children, she's considered a zona? Why? The chsiv ochlu v'lo yizboru. It says ochlu v'lo yizboru. Lo yizbo, they eat and they're not sated. Hiznu v'lo yifrotzu, they have relations v'lo yifrotzu, and there's no breakthrough. Kol bia she'ein bo pirza ein ela bilos nus. Any bia which doesn't have result in being able to have children, that's called the bias nus. How does he explain that? Pirza.
Okay.
That what? Pirza.
Incapable of childbearing, she is regarded as its own, and it's forbidden to.
No, the pasuk. Ochlu v'lo yizbo.
They will eat but not be satiated. They will be promiscuous but will not be proliferate. This implies any coordination that will
Right.
not have the possibility
Right.
of proliferation.
Right. Tanya, Reb Lezo mekoin lu yisa sakatana. Reb Lezo says a kohen should not marry a minor. Why? Amalei Rav Chisda Rabba puk ayin bo. He says, I want you to go and find a source to that. The l'urta boy lo Rafuna minoch, because Rafuna is going to ask for you to source that, because Reb Lezo's thing. Novak ayin bo Reb Lezo sova lo Reb Meir. He was like Reb Meir. V'sova lo Reb Yehuda. Listen to this. Why can't you marry Katana? I mean, ultimately she'll be an adult and she'll be able to have children, right? The answer is because Reb Lezer holds like Reb Meir, he holds like Reb Yehuda. Some of the Reb Meir, the Chayshlim with the Reb Meir's position is that even though the majority of women, when they're a child, you don't know how they're going to develop. Are they going to develop like a woman or they can be an islandess? So you go after Rov. Reb Meir's Chayshlim Muta. Reb Meir says no, that if you could wait, you wait. Because there's a chance the person could be part of the minority. Right? So therefore, Reb Lezer holds like Reb Meir, that Chayshin L'Miuto, that since the child may turn out to be an islandess, and if you hold of Reb Yehuda, an islandess, a Kohen is not permitted to marry her, because she's a zona. So Reb Lezer holds first like Reb Yehuda, that you don't go after Rov, like Reb Meir, you don't go after Rov, you have to take the minority into consideration. In addition, like Reb Yehuda, that a Kohen is not permitted to marry an islandess because she's a zona. So like Reb Yehuda, dom islandess zona, Reb Meir, Reb Lezer holds like Reb Meir, Tanya. It says Kotnu Katana. Now, what's the halacha? A man dies, childless, and his brother, whose surviving brother, is a minor. Could he give chalitza? Can't give chalitza until he becomes an adult. Why? Because if he gives chalitza, because the Torah says it says ish. The only person, the surviving brother, has to be ish, has to be an adult. If he's not an adult, it's not valid. What about if he cohabits with her? He does yibum. It's valid. It's considered yibum because it's a sexual act. So sexual act actually causes it to become his wife. Okay? So he says, Rameir says neither. You're not permitted to do chalitz, you're not permitted to do yibum. Why aren't you permitted to do yibum? Why? Because what happens if a man dies and his wife, who he's married to, was an islandess? There's no mitzvah yibum. Because the whole purpose is, Torah says, to perpetuate the name of the deceased. She never developed as a woman. She has no relevance to the whole story. So now, if you hold, we don't go after the majority. There's a chance, and there's a minority of women never develop. So there's a chance that this minor woman, girl, may never develop as a woman. So if that's the case, you know something? You're not permitted to do yibum. If she's a minor. Because she may turn out to be what? An islandess, right? So Rameir says, we agree with you, Chalitza, the minor, or she can't. Why? Because Ish Ksiv B'Parsha. Because it's Ish, you have to be an adult to give Chalitza. And we say, just as he has to be an adult to give Chalitza, she has to be an adult to receive Chalitza. So that we agree with, that we concur with you. She died. She was a minor married to the brother. Now he dies. So she falls to Yibum. So the Chacham say, Chalitza, he can't give Chalitza if he's a minor, and if he's an adult and she's a minor, he can't give Chalitza. Okay? That. Yibum, yes. Yibum, yes. Elamai time Yabim. They say to Rebbe, but why can't you give Yibum? So why does Rebbe hold Yibum not? Elokot Hashem Yimtza Soris. Because he, as an adult, he may not develop as a male, that he may not, right? Tana Shematim's islandess, because as an adult, she may turn out to be an islandess, right? V'nibsu pogen be'ervos. If that's the case, they're not permitted. That's the reason why we say you have to wait. Wait till they become adults, then we'll see exactly what the reality is. The Chum, they go after Rov. You go after majority. What have to be worried? There's a chance. Torah says you go after majority. V'tanya, we learned in the Brisa, Ktana misyabemes ve'enu choletzes div Reb Lezer. Hear this? Reb Lezer says a Ktana is eligible for Yibum, but not for Chalitza. So what do you see? Reb Lezer holds what specifically? Not like Reb Meir. Reb Yehuda. So you see clearly Reb Lezer does not hold like Reb Meir. Reb Yehuda misova lo. Does he hold V'tanya zona kishma? Div Reb Lezer. Reb Lezer says zona means literally a prostitute. One second. There you go. Kishma, meaning a woman who commits adultery. She's a harlot. She's married to one man. She goes and has relations with other people. Rabbi Kiva Omer zona zu mufkeres. No, she does not be a woman who committed adultery. A zona is a woman who's she sells her services. Mufkeres liznus. A licentious woman. She's single. Ramashia ben Choroshomer afilo holach bailo lashkoso. Oboleo bederach osazona. Rav Mashi Bechor says no. That what happens? She was suspected adulteress. The husband's going to Yerushalayim to give her the water to determine whether she committed adultery, and the husband himself has relations with her. So it's a forbidden relationship because until it's bare, so she becomes a zona. Rabbi Yehuda is zona. Rabbi Yehuda says zona zu islandness. Islandness is a zona. So there's Rabbi Yehuda like in our Mishnah, right? Right. But Rabbi Lezer says no. V'cham omrim ein zona el gior shucheres nivelo bilas nus. Reb Lezer says that if a single man has relations with a single woman, two Jewish people, but it was not for the sake of marriage, asazona. So you see clearly Reb Lezer does not agree that islandness is a zona. So why before does Reb Lezer say that a Kohen is not permitted to marry a minor? Why not? What's the problem? Even if she turns out to be first he goes after Rov. So if the probability is she's not islandless, and even if she is an islandless, he holds that's not a zona. Elo, Omer Avad Barava Hochab Kohen Godel. We speak of Kohen Godel. Yeah? Kohen Le'emas Konilo. When does the Kohen Godel? A Kohen Godel should not marry a minor. You got it? Why shouldn't he marry a minor? Because what? We'll see. So, because when is it going to become a Torah marriage? When she becomes an adult. By then she's no longer a virgin. Right? Chigodla buli, Amar Rava, Michli Leiv. So Rava says that statement that you said is like without thinking. Sounds familiar. That statement is like without thinking. Why? If the father married her off, it's a kedushin d'oraisa when she's a minor. Vi the kitchen nafsho, horeb lezi, v'lo rabbanon. Right? And if she married herself off, horeb lezi, v'lo rabbanon. It seems to be the chachamim. They what? They disagree with him. What do you mean they disagree? How could they disagree? Everybody would agree. She's not a basula. Reb Lezer says a Kohen should not marry a minor. If we're speaking about a Kohen Gadol, she married herself off. It's not a Torah marriage. Why did the Chacham argue? They would be agreeable because when it becomes a Torah marriage, she's not a virgin any longer. If the father married her off, it's not a problem. Because when she became a bula, it was his wife. And if she married herself off, it's only a rabbinic marriage. So why did the Chacham argue with Reb Lezer that a Kohen Gadol is permitted to marry her? You have the same problem. She's not a basula when it becomes a Torah marriage. Elam Rav Olam b'Kohen Hedju. Speaking of an ordinary Kohen. B'chayshina shemet ispat to Olav. Because with a child, a child can be seduced easily. What happens? He marries a child, and she goes, somebody seduces her, and she's very gullible, and has relations with her. So the Gemara is going to say, even though she's not an adulteress, right? But what happens? Factually, she's a defiled woman. Since she's a married woman, let's say a Kohen's wife is raped. He has to divorce her because she becomes his owner because she's defiled. So here, if you say a minor is easily seduced because it's so gullible, you're looking for trouble. A Kohen marries a Ketana, he's looking for trouble. Because since she could be drawn away from her husband, and somebody may have an illicit relationship with her. If that happens, what does he have? He has a problem, right? Shem Dispata Olav. See, Och Yisrael Nami. So what about a Yisrael shouldn't marry a minor? No, he says no. Petuye Ketana Onisu. When a minor is seduced, that's not called a relationship which she consented to. It's not considered consensual. So it's an onus. It's like being raped. A woman raped. V'onis b'Yisrael b'shashori. Right? A Yisrael is permitted to continue living with his wife if she was raped, because it's only adultery. But what about if it's a Kohen? A Kohen, she's defiled. Rav Papa says, no, we're not speaking about what Reb Lezer said. A Kohen should not marry a Ketanis, we had a Kohen Gadol. Wait. V'haitan hu detanya b'sula yochul ketano. It says b'sula. Maybe tamulam isha. Isha yochul bageris. So he's learning Xersa Kosov. It says he should marry a b'sula. So ketana is a b'sula. Yochul ketana. Maybe so. If that's the case, he could marry even a minor. Tamulam isha. No, she has to be an adult. But if it's a do yochel bogeres, she could even be 12 and a half, maybe even beyond 12 and a half. Talmud besula, she has that full virgin. Okay, it said yotza mechlal katnus. If she leaves the time period, she's no longer a minor; she's an adult. Uchlal bagris loboso, and the Torah says it's only during that 12 6-month period that's the only time a Kohen Gadol is permitted to marry a woman. From 12 to 12 and a half. Because as a minor, it says Isha. Minor's not Isha, right? It means an adult. And she can't go beyond 12 and a half because it's a Basula means she has to be a full virgin. And since from 12 and a half onward, it starts deteriorating, therefore, it's only during the 6-month period he's permitted to marry her. No, we do. It seems to be we rule this way. We rule this way. We rule like Rebbe Lezer. 1 second. Rav Nachman Yitzchak Haitanu Tanya. Yeah. Rav Nachman Yitzchak Haitanu the Tanya Besula Ein Besula Ela Naro. Chen Womit means Naro. But Nara Tovas Mara. Right? It says by Rivka. It says Hanaro. So you see Naro. Tos has a problem because how old was Rivka at the time? She was 3 years old. And here the Gemara says that Posuk by Rivka she was 12. Tos speaks about it. The Posuk the Gemara is quoting, how do we know a Kohen should only marry a 12-year-old girl and not a minor? Because it says Hanaro Tovas Mara Ma'od Besula. So what's Besula? Naro. So just as over there Besula means Naro, by the Kohen, when it says Psul, means Naro. That's what the Gemara says. So Tosas asks, that posuk is speaking by Rivka. Eliezer, so Rivka, who was a Nara, Besula drawing water. So just as over there Rivka was 12, the girl, which is permitted to the Kohen Gadol, is only 12-year-old. So Tosas asks, but according to the Cheshbon, she was 3 years old. Because that's the reason Yitzchak waited 3 years. He was 37 time in the Akedah. And he had to wait 3 years to come to marry her because she was just born. And only after 3 years is she cohabitable. Before 3 years, it's not considered a sexual act. That's what Tosas contends with this Gemara.
Consider him like a Kohen Gadol, or do you see him like Israel?
No, talking about the woman.
No, I hear
He's a Kohen. Of course, he's a Kohen Gadol. Kohen Gadol is even point to be a Kohen Gadol.
You're talking about Yaakov.
No. That's not with Yaakov. We're not talking about Yaakov.
That is an example for Rivka.
No, Yitzchak.
Yitzchak.
No. It says by what's his name? By a Kohen Gadol, he has to marry Isha Besula.
Right. So why they use it?
Wait a second. We want to know what the word Besula means. So just as by Rivka it says Nara Besula. So to hear Besula means Nara. She has to be 12 years old. So the difficulty is she was 3 years old over there. Even though it says Nara, it means a maiden. Doesn't mean Nara in the halachic sense. Okay, it's Tosas' question. No, Tosas, she was only 3 years old. Rabbi Lozo me pone abola pnu yishlo l'shem isha sasazona. Omer Rav Amram in aloch Rabbi Lozo. We don't rule like Rabbi. So a Jewish man and woman have an illicit relationship, right? She's 100% valid to marry a Kohen. A Jewish woman, she had a sexual relationship with a Jewish man. Now she dates a Kohen, not a problem, because we don't rule like Reb Lezer. Reb Lezer says she's a zona. We don't rule this way. It has to be an illicit, meaning a forbidden relationship, like a mamzer, a goy, adultery, incest. That defiles her. Anything outside of that, she's not considered defiled. Okay? Now let's go quick. We're talking about the mitzvah piriv ribia. To fulfill the mitzvah procreation, you have to have 2 boys, 2 girls, a boy and a girl, maybe 2 boys and 2 girls. That's the whole discussion over here. Okay? Lo yavatal adam piriv ribia, elam ken yesh lo bonim. That a person should not cease procreating, doing the act of procreation, unless he already has children. Once he has children, then he doesn't have to continue procreating. Beishami omrim, when do you fulfill the mitzvah of procreation? Pruvu, shnei schorim, 2 males. Beisila omrim, zochon nekeva. You have to have a male and a female. Why? Shenemar, zochon nekeva borom. It says by when Hashem created Adam and Chava, it says He created a male and female. So you see, what is the concept of children? To perpetuate existence. You can't perpetuate existence unless you have a male and a female. Therefore, to fulfill the mitzvah pruvu, you need a son and a daughter. That's Beisilu. Hayesh labonim, mipirvu ribyo, batul misho. Excuse me. It says Hayesh labonim, mipirvitu batul. Meaning, it says the Mishnah says one doesn't have to continue procreating. Meaning, if you already fulfilled the mitzvah pruvu, you can marry a woman who's beyond menopause because you already fulfilled your mitzvah. But it seems to be the inference is only you don't have to continue procreate, but a wife you have to have. A man should not be without a wife. Misha lo batul. But a wife you should have. Messiah Leila Rav Nachman. Omar Shmuel, this supports Rav Nachman Omar Shmuel. The Omar Api Sheish Lo Adam Kamabonim. Even though a person has a number of children, also Lamos Beloisha, he should not be without a wife. Shenemar, as it says in Torah, Lo Tov. When Hashem created Adam, why did He create Chava? Because He says it's not good for man to be alone. So although we fulfilled the mitzvah pruvu, he's permitted to marry a woman who no longer can conceive, but he has to marry a woman. He has to find a wife. If he already has children, he doesn't have to continue procreating. But it seems to be he doesn't even have to have a wife. The Rav Nachman Shmuel seems that this would refute Rav Nachman Shmuel. Lo, ein lo bonim, no seisha bas bonim. If he has no children, or he has one child, he has to marry a woman who could conceive that he could have children from. Yesh lo bonim, but if he already has children, no seisha la bas bonim. He's able to marry a woman, although she's not able to conceive. She's beyond menopause. Nafkamino, what's nafkamino? Listen to this. Limkor sefer Torah, bishvul bonim. A person's allowed to, let's say a person, you're only permitted to sell a sefer Torah for certain things. To study Torah, you can't afford tuition. You have to sell your sefer to study Torah, pay tuition, you sell your sefer Torah. PTI charges $50,000 a year. So you give him the sefer Torah, says this is my tuition, not a problem. What about a man who wants to marry a woman, and he hasn't yet fulfilled the mitzvah pruvu yet? And that's the cost outlay. He sells the sefer Torah to marry. What about if he already has children? So here's just to have a wife, not be himself. He's not permitted to sell the sefer Torah. So there's a halachic difference. Are you permitted to sell the sefer Torah to get married? It depends where you're at. If you already fulfilled the mitzvah, not. If you did not fulfill the mitzvah, then you can. Okay? Beishamai says, how does one fulfill the mitzvah? You have to have 2 male children. My time in Beishamai. Yalfinim and Moshe. We learned from Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu had what? Had 2 sons.